But on a serious note, yes, CSDS did a poll before elections. As you know, that we don't come out with number of seats. But this was a poll conducted in the first week of April. We concluded the poll by 8th of April. And our estimate, which was made public in the newspaper, was that 40% votes for BJP and Prime Minister Modi's popularity remains very high at 47%. But at the same time, the study also revealed, and it was like reported in widely in the newspaper, that we figured out that there are sections of voters who intended that they are likely to vote for BJP in the coming elections. But we call them reluctant voters. They were not very happy with the performance of the government. They didn't want this government to be re-elected by conviction, but they thought since there is no alternative, they will get re-elected. So, क्या करें? Even if there is बेरोजगारी, even if there is महंगाई, we will end up voting for BJP, even though we don't want this government to be re-elected. So out of this 40, we made an estimate that really the BJP's vote share seems to be 35-36%, but there is 4 or 5% reluctant voter who might end up voting for BJP because they see no alternative. That was the situation in the first week of April, but I think as the election progressed, things may have changed on the ground, which is obvious from various quarters. And my own sense is that I think there is a movement of those reluctant voters who thought they are likely to vote for BJP on the election day. They seems to have moved away.
No, because things have changed, which is obvious to everyone. But for those to whom it's not so obvious, explain what's changed and why between your earlier polls and now.
I think the narrative changed. To be very frank, when opposition party used to say this is an election to save democracy, this is an election to save constitution, I used to laugh and I used to think this is not an issue for the common man. But what has happened, I think, what BJP thought is a strength became a weakness because that was used by the opposition, or that has been used by the opposition as a tool to counter. So when Prime Minister Modi said 400 par NDA ke liye and 370 for BJP, and Congress and opposition started campaigning on this issue that, you know, BJP is aiming to get 370 because they want to change the constitution, and that is why we are saying this is an election to save the constitution. And they kept hammering hard that if they get 370, if they get a huge majority, they may be willing to change the constitution, and changing the constitution would mean erasing the memories of Ambedkar because he is seen as an icon for a large number of Dalits. So this whole narrative that if BJP comes to power in a big way, many things will change. And this also connects to Prime Minister Modi has mentioned, we will take strong step, or we are going to initiate very strong measures as soon as we come to power in the first 10 days, first 100 days. I think that started making a connect to the people on the ground. And then I think that started changing the narrative. So the big narrative of vote on Modi or vote on Hindutva, vote on temple, that disappeared. And the small issues of, yes, there is some substance. People started thinking there is a substance, that there is a danger to the constitution. There is a substance, that there is a danger to democracy. This started growing up like small plants here and there. And the aggregation is what we are looking at now.
You know, Rahul, you've asked me, you've asked them.